All right, good morning, Hauppauge high school community and the broader Hauppauge community. It is Tuesday, May 5th, the Cinco de Mayo day. It is our 54th day away from students. I got my handy dandy calendar here. That's a lot of days. We miss you tremendously. Yesterday, we talked a little bit about it being Teacher Appreciation Week. It's some nice things going on out there. We communicating to staff a little bit about our deep appreciation for all that you're doing. We are tremendously grateful. And yesterday there were some students on our calls, both in the morning and then again at lunch, all who were able to say many teachers who they were appreciative of. And I thought that was just a really incredible kudos to all of you. Just a heads up, my kids are playing hide and seek just 10 feet to my left. So as long as there's no yelling and screaming, we should be okay this morning. They've been told not to hide underneath me today, so we'll see. And then today we're lucky to be joined by some people who have direct connections with many teachers, have deep appreciation for the craft of teaching, as a deep appreciation for the craft of teaching as anybody I've met. And they'll come on and join us, but they also have a deep connection to Hauppauge. And so in just a minute, we'll have them come and say hello. But before that, quick little shout out to Ginny Schoen, Andy Bescher, and Terry Valerio, who put out some comments yesterday on the show while we were going. So appreciate those questions and things like that. Maybe we'll address some of them today. But without further ado, I'll have the people on the call say hello, and then we'll jump into it. Dr. Probst.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for having me on today.
No problem. Dr. Michael. Dr. Michael, I muted you on accident. I'm sorry. That's on me.
That's quite all right. Good morning, Hauppauge. It's a beautiful day. Thank you for having me here.
Wonderful. Mrs. Gordon.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me, Hauppauge. We miss you.
We do. J-Dubs.
Good morning, Hauppauge. Happy Tuesday. I almost said Wednesday. Hope everyone has a good day.
Joy.
Good morning, Hauppauge. It's great to be sharing this morning with you. It's a beautiful day. Get out there, move around, and enjoy some sunshine.
Christy.
Good morning, Hauppauge. Hope you're all staying safe, and we miss seeing you all in the hall, teachers, students, everybody.
Beautiful. All right, so one of the things that we do, and I think I'm going to start doing this with every new guest, is get your breakfast order in. So imagine the lift has happened. We're allowed to go back to your favorite breakfast spot. You're going to put in your breakfast order, but please do remember, and I have to even offer this warning virtually, if you're standing in a New York deli or a New York bagel place and you get to the counter and you don't know what you're doing, you're going to get a lot of hate stares. And so you need to be ready with your breakfast order, ready to go. I'll start it off. 3 eggs scrambled, salt, pepper, ketchup, turkey and cheese on today I'll go whole wheat bagel. There you go. Dr. Probst.
Everything bagel, toasted, a little bit of butter.
All right, Dr. Michael.
Poppy bagel toasted with butter, scrambled eggs, lightly scrambled, and American cheese.
Beautiful. Mrs. Gordon.
Sesame flagel, lightly buttered.
J-Dubs.
BECSPK.
That's amazing. Good for you.
Ketchup.
Joy Ferrara.
Grilled cheese and bacon on an egg, everything bagel.
Christy.
Everything bagel, lightly toasted, lightly buttered.
All right, good stuff. All right, and then let's go into our correspondent update of the day. White Horse, go for it.
So good morning. Today's Jort report. We still don't have any sponsors. Hoping for some. We'd love some, so if you have any suggestions, let us know. Still nothing really going on in sports, got to tell you. The United States is pretty quiet with sports. A lot of stories get made up just because there's nothing else going on. However, it is opening day for the Korean Baseball Organization. If you were up at 1 a.m, you could have watched them on ESPN. So if you need your fix for baseball, you can tune into that. They have no fans in the stands, so it's very interesting to see. If you're looking for something to watch tonight, you can tune in. I'm not going to watch it because it was a terrible game. The 2004 American League Championship Series, Game 4, between the Yankees and Red Sox. If any of you don't remember the game, the Yankees were up 3-0. And let's just say it doesn't end well for the Yankees after that game. On this day in history, I'm going to stick with baseball. In 1904, Cy Young pitched the first perfect game in modern baseball history. I will give all of you a try to guess. So he played for Boston and he pitched against Philadelphia. However, they didn't have the team names they currently do. Can any of you name what the team names were for Boston and Philadelphia at that time?
Boston Braves.
That's a good guess, but no. Cy Young pitched. The Boston Braves, I'm not sure were in existence yet. This is right after the what is now Major League Baseball came about. James is frustrated that you're not getting this. You've worked in Boston forever.
Not when Cy Young was pitching.
No, not when Cy Young, but this is like etched in baseball lore. All right. Anyone else?
Mrs. Farrar, you got one?
The Bean Eaters.
I like the guess, but no. It was the Boston Americans
Okay.
and the Philadelphia Athletics, who then eventually moved.
Oh, yeah. The A's, right?
Yeah, so it was a 3-0 game. Cy Young was a pitcher for the Boston Americans, and he pitched a perfect game against the Philadelphia Athletics. Back to you, Chris.
Excellent. And to Joy for this day in history. Go for it, or whatever. History update. Take it away.
So let's see. Here we go. Today is National Foster Care Day. We recognize all of the children across the United States who were or currently are in the foster care system. We know there are over 400,000 children a year who are in the system, and we reach out to you today, acknowledge and support you. Today is National Hoagie Day. Now, I grew up eating hoagies in New Jersey, and we would go to the local Wawa and order an Italian hoagie. But when I moved to Long Island, there was no such thing as a hoagie. I don't know, Mr. Cook, did you have hoagies in Boston?
No, but what's a Wawa?
What's a Wawa? A Wawa.
Oh, I love Wawa.
Wawa, yes. Okay, so if you don't know a Wawa, it is like a chain, kind of like a 7-Eleven, only fresh deli and grocery all wrapped up in one. So today is also National Totally Chipotle Day.
Joy, we're missing you, I think.
Are big Chipotle fans. Mr. Cook, this one is out of this world. It is National Astronaut Day, reaching for the stars and celebrating all our space heroes. It is also National Silence the Shame Day, and that is actually a day where we are recognizing mental health awareness, raising the level. A big shout out again to our student Olivia, who was on a few weeks ago with our local legislator. Thank you, Olivia, for putting that together. And today starts National Teacher Appreciation Day. Teachers, we salute you. Have a wonderful day, a great week, and thank you. We appreciate all you do. Back to you, Mr. Cook.
Thank you so much. And I think it is National Mental Health Awareness Month, but a lot happening on Tuesday, May 5th, a lot of days there. I'm always astonished by how many days there are on each given day, but today seems like one that's got a nice nod to mental health and making sure we're taking care of ourselves, which seems to be a theme of what is needed today. Christy Pagliari, what's the weather like today?
So today it's going to be 59 is our high. A little windy this afternoon, but no chance of rain, so try to get out because it looks like it's going to rain for a better part of the day tomorrow. Take care of your mental health, get some exercise, and get outside once all of your schoolwork is done.
Good plug. Good plug. So that'll be like after they wake up at noon, then they'll do their schoolwork, and they'll be outside by 7 or 8 o'clock. That's good. All right. The only thing to note is, Maria, where are you? And I need somebody to fill in really quickly for the cooking correspondent piece.
I got one for you.
All right, what course? Well, it doesn't have quite the same ring. Maria, what's for dinner?
Sorry.
Joe Whitehorse, what's for dinner? Tell me, what do we got?
We're making tacos tonight with fresh tortillas. We're making our own tortillas. It's going to be fun.
How are you doing that?
let me get my wife down. I'll explain how. But it's basically only flour and water, and she puts them together. She makes the dough. I'm responsible for the frying and getting them ready. So
Nice.
I don't do any of the legwork at the beginning, but I'm going to help out.
All right, take some pictures, and I'll put it as the icon for this image today.
I will.
All right, cool.
Awesome.
All right, Cinco de Mayo, nice touch. Of course, good job. I'll think about whether we make that the official title of the segment. Joe Whitehorse, what is for dinner? We'll see.
That would not be a long segment.
Maria, if you want to come on and you're listening, people are texting me right now. They want to hear from you. All right, so listen, let's acknowledge a couple things here. Really tough time. You know, it's been even by the day. I try to have pretty steady news sources that feed me information, and even by the day, those steady news sources are changing what they're discussing in terms of where we're at. So sometimes it feels like we're making progress, and then and then things step back, and on a daily basis, the toll of what's going on in Hauppauge is heavy. And I've talked about this before, but from my seat, I get to learn about a lot of things that are happening in the community, and it's really humbling and scary about just how much this is impacting our community. And I say that vaguely without too much specificity, but today's a tough day for a lot of people. So it feels appropriate to have people who have been part of the Hauppauge community for a long time and have been able to gain a lot from Hauppauge. I'm a relatively newcomer to the community, but have been so impressed with the spirit of Hauppauge and just what it offers the people that work here, the people that live here, the people that grow up here. And so I'd love to invite each of the guests on here. So Dr. Michael, Dr. Probst, and Mrs. Gordon to talk a little bit about their experiences within Hauppauge. Take a couple minutes, guide us through, and just what does the Hauppauge spirit mean to you? But really, just you have a couple minutes. The floor is yours. Dr. Probst, go for it.
Sure. Thanks, Mr. Cook. And I really loved all those updates. I had no idea there were so many special days on May 5th at Cinco de Mayo. So as Mr. Cook said, I have, I suppose a long, lengthy connection to Hauppauge. I've worked in Hauppauge. This is my third year in this role, but I actually attended Hauppauge schools, kindergarten through 12th grade. So I grew up in the bird section, went to the Pines, Hauppauge Middle School, and Hauppauge High School. So my love for Hauppauge and my great feelings and appreciation for Hauppauge certainly run deep. Mr. Cook, you kind of teed this up a little bit. When I think about Hauppauge, the first things I think about are all the great things, right? The community spirit and the celebration of what it means to be from here. I think of incredible events like homecoming. It's always been an incredible event. I think of newer events that weren't, part of the experience when I was in school, but, Kicks for Cancer. I think about athletic events. I think about fine and performing arts, which has always been, such a point of pride for Hauppauge. But then I think about the way this community rallies, and supports each other around really tough events too, like what we're going through right now. So I was a senior in high school on September 11th, 2001. So, I think about how Hauppauge came together during that time period. And then I think about other individual events that have just struck Hauppauge more specifically, and the way I've always seen and felt and been part of how Hauppauge comes together when there's a specific person, a specific family that needs help. So, I'm certainly feeling that from the Hauppauge community right now, which, is not a surprise to me, because having been part of Hauppauge for so long, I'm never surprised when Hauppauge usually very quietly steps up to help people out, which is something that, I think the whole community should be proud of. In terms of, I know we talked about this a little bit earlier, like sort of the Hauppauge trajectory, or, some of the things I've gotten to see over time in Hauppauge. I attended elementary school when we had only 2 elementary schools in Hauppauge, which is Pines and Bretton Woods. Forest Brook came back into the mix, I think, when I was in 5th grade, but nobody in my year had to break off and go to Forest Brook. You know, I think about some of the changes that we've seen in terms of adding courses and programs. Like, you know, we have courses and programs in Hauppauge now that I couldn't have dreamed of when I was a student, which is really cool to get to be back and to see that and be part of it. You know, I'll tell you, my role obviously has to do with school counseling and college access and opportunities and post-secondary planning. My first job was actually working as a summer assistant. I think my title was actually summer clerical assistant in the high school guidance office. Summer after 9th, 10th, and 11th grades. So it is not lost on me that my first job was working in the guidance office, and now my job is working in the guidance office, although we did move to a new location. But to get to see, you know, some of the changes in how Hauppauge, you know, views and values and cares about planning for after high school, to me is really rewarding, and it's been very exciting. And I think, you know, some of the recent accolades that have come, you know, to the high school in terms of the recognition from US News and more recently from New York State Ed, again, not surprising, but really pretty amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thanks for that, Carolyn. Really appreciate you going a little bit on your personal stuff, and then also just kind of talking about the arc of the district, and then finishing with kind of what's going on recently. I guess it is worthy noting. I mean, the rankings are pretty impressive. The recent stuff, and I've just each time I've been asked about it, it's not like this has been a new kind of set of recognition that's coming out of nowhere. There's been years and years of thoughtful planning. I really appreciate the people on this call who have been participating in those years of planning to kind of continue to lift expectations for our students, and then also layer in the support. So very impressive stuff. Let's jump to Dr. Michael. Can you talk to us a little bit? I've appreciated hearing your story and your relationship with Hauppauge personally. So I'd love for you to kind of talk a little bit about your trajectory here, and then, you know, what you've come to learn about the community.
Sure. I've been fortunate enough to be here in Hauppauge for 24 years. I started my career in another school district on Long Island. And like a lot of teachers, I came out of college hoping for a job, and I landed a job in a local school district. But, you know, and part of that journey of, you know, becoming being a new teacher and trying to learn and be the best you can, you take courses and you try to learn more. And I was fortunate enough to take courses through a local BOCES, and the people offering that course were from Hauppauge. They were Hauppauge teachers. And it was just amazing the things they talked about their district and how much they loved their district, how passionate they were, how many opportunities they were given working in Hauppauge. And even though I was, you know, tenured in another district, it just stuck in my mind that this is a place where I wanted to work. I wanted to be. And in around 1996, 95, 96, the district had talked about redistricting and opening up Forest Brook. I jumped at the opportunity to come to Hauppauge and started as a reading teacher at Forest Brook. That was a great opportunity. And that whole idea of Hauppauge pushing you to be the best you possibly can be really, you know, reverberated throughout my career for the last 24 years. I had the opportunity to, as I said, be a reading teacher at Forest Brook. When an opportunity came up to be an assistant principal at the elementary schools, I was an elementary principal, and I worked assistant principal at Forest Brook and at the Pines Elementary School. When the opportunity came up and a principal had retired from Forest Brook, I was given the opportunity to be the principal at Forest Brook. And still further on, other opportunities came up as a district-wide coordinator, as director of English Language Arts, and my background being in literacy and in reading, it was a perfect fit. So I think this is like my 9th year here as director of English Language Arts, the high school. Most of my teaching experience had been at the elementary level, so it was a kind of a strange shock to jump into the secondary experience, but it's been wonderful to see kids that I was assistant principal for a teacher become teachers here in the district, or to see those kids move from kindergarten into middle school to high school and see the support that's given by the teachers here in the community. I really made a good decision moving from that other district to this district. It really personally, this district has really propelled me forward and pushed me in my career and really prepared me to make, really great choices and given me great opportunities. And I think that's the same spirit that is sort of alive here in Hauppauge. I think the teachers and the community push their students to try new things and to move into great directions. We keep offering new courses, new opportunities for students. And that all comes from the teachers and from the students and from the community asking for that. And I think that same spirit reverberates. What I've seen also, having been in different roles here in the district, is that whole family and community feel that I love being part of. It reminds me of what I grew up with also. Not only do you feel that community feeling, but I feel like I was embraced also. My family, became part of different events that went like homecoming, different events that happened at the schools. My own personal family was involved in all those things. So it's been a great experience for me, connecting my personal life and my professional life together. I'd have to say that I've seen the community come together when we've had situations and tragedies happen, losses happen, when we've had budget crises, when we've had people leave for whatever reason. We've seen people step up and fill the gaps and really continue to pull Hauppauge forward and make it the best it could be for students. And that's the one thing that I've heard from teachers and from the community and the staff here. It's all about the kids. And that's something that the ongoing mantra that I hear and that I feel in this community. So I'm proud to be part of this community. It continues to push me forward professionally. So I thank the community and the board and all the people listening in this community who've done everything to support my work and the things that I've done to help kids.
Thank you. Really appreciate that. And I think I want to just note a couple of things. So, Dr. Michael, I've really appreciated your mentorship and the chance to have conversations with you about the district. You've been a great asset for me to kind of have side conversations about, hey, this is what I'm wrestling with. So I appreciate your availability to me, and the connection and the love that you just expressed for Hauppauge is one I feel in our conversations. Dr. Probst, really have appreciated the relationship we've had in the partnership to think outside the box on a lot of things, and excited for the years to come here on what that looks like. And Mrs. Gordon, before I segue to you, I have noticed that we have Maria has joined, ladies and gentlemen. And for those of you worried, Maria, can you jump in? Can you talk to us a little bit about what's for dinner tonight?
Good morning. Dinner tonight's really going to be very boring. Last night I did realize that today was Cinco de Mayo. I always did something like with the kids and stuff like that. And I thought about it and I said, okay, so what am I going to do? And then I was looking around and I was like, okay, maybe I'll just have tacos. I have no chopped meat. I have no ground turkey. So I said, okay, I guess we're not doing this. I guess we're just going to skip this whole idea until I get to the grocery. So I think what we're going to do is, like, about 2-3 weeks ago, we had this, I don't know if I mentioned, it was like a lobster and crab ravioli.
Yeah.
I think we're just going to have that. My daughter makes a wonderful, like, butter lemon sauce. We'll just have that with it, and we'll have a salad. And I think that's as far as we're going.
Awesome. Well, thanks for jumping on. I appreciate it. How did you know that we were calling on you? Were you watching it? Did people reach out to you? How did you know that the demand was here?
No, actually, I was in the middle of like answering an email. I got a few emails about a certain topic this morning, and I kind of wanted to answer that.
Got it.
And I kind of felt that was like important.
Yeah. Got it. And then so you popped on after. Well, I appreciate you doing that. I really appreciate you doing that. All right. And Mrs. Gordon, before I segue to you, I think it's fitting that your first name alphabetically goes third in the list here. So Dr. Probst and Dr. Michael, then you have a chance to talk a little bit about it. And I've, the word I wrote down as I was thinking about you is just leadership. And so in life, I've come to know that there are leaders and then there are leaders. There's people that like leadership is cast upon because of the title of their role, and then there's leaders because they just kind of step into it. So have felt your leadership and your mentorship here, and have been grateful that there are people within Hauppauge, the three of you on this call, who the connection is so deep that it's a part of who they are. And so I want you to just talk a little bit about your experiences here, and go for it. The floor is yours.
Thanks, Chris. That's really nice of you to say.
Yeah.
When I think about Hauppauge, I think about heart, and I think about a place that doesn't have a downtown, but the schools are the heart of the entire place. And I speak from not only being an administrator here, a longtime teacher here, but also as a graduate of Hauppauge. I lived in the last street in Hauppauge. My parents made sure we were in Hauppauge School District. We lived on Crocus Lane. The people behind me went to Comac. We were Hauppauge kids. I lived there till I was in 4th grade. I went to to Pines, and then we moved to White Oak Drive. And when I moved to White Oak Drive, the street had just been paved. There were no neighbors behind us, and we were walkers to the Pines. I went to the Pines from kindergarten to 6th grade, and they were building on to the middle school. So I went to the middle school for 7th grade, and then I was in the high school from 8th grade to 12th grade. So I really had a great experience in terms of education. At that time, no AP classes. We had college classes, but it was really considered a very rigorous education for the time being. I got involved in the swim program as the first class to ever take swimming lessons there. And then in 1979, after volunteering for 2 years, I was finally employed there. So I've been at the swim program. I just hit my 40 years. So I have taught not only kids, but their kids and some of their other kids. So I'm on the grandparent level.
That's amazing. That's
grandkids.
amazing.
It's been a great experience. I love working there. I love the people that I've been involved with. And then I had an opportunity to come to Hauppauge and be a social studies teacher. And I taught in room 268, the last room before you get down to the pool, which I always thought was very, very interesting. And then I had an opportunity to be an administrator. And I'm just so proud of the way that the teachers have grown, the staff has grown in all of the buildings, how they've taken on challenges that they probably never thought they would have. I remember sitting in my classroom on 9/11 in 268 and finding out about what happened and having kids just pouring into the room and not understanding and then growing and being able to give back. And I just think that it's been such a phenomenal experience that, Hauppauge is it's just heart. It's just who it is.
That's beautiful. White Horse, you got that prom mug with the heart on you by chance anywhere near you?
The what with the heart?
The mug with the heart over Hauppauge?
It's on my desk at Hauppauge High School.
You can't, man, that would have been perfect. All right. No, I think that during a theory.
I know you have yours.
I could run downstairs if you want me to try to grab it.
It's on my desk, and go run down and bring it up.
We've talked about this.
I put my gloves on and mask on. I want to just do it. Sorry.
There you go. There you go. I love that you still have your ID on though. Just like people checking on you there. That's amazing.
Because I am at work. I don't wear my ID at home. Just letting you know.
Good.
So you say.
So Chris, can I just throw something out there quick?
Yeah.
So just going back to, your mentorship and your leaders of Chris and Doreen and Joy, one of the things that I was given when I started working there was a piece of a plant from Chris Michaels, and I didn't really understand it. And I actually thought that he made it himself, the pot, but he didn't. I just found out that yesterday. But it really talked to the heart of that administrative team. And I went to the building last week to check out my fish and to get the plant. That was the whole purpose of the trip. So the plant is thriving in my front foyer.
Great, good. I'm glad that's how the story ended. It was,
I know. I was getting nervous.
If the plant died.
That would have been good TV. Not good TV if the plant had died. No, Doreen, to your point, I think heart has been, definitely the clear energy that comes from the community. And I truthfully, I'm very grateful to be here, part of this team. And madness surrounds us in a lot of spaces, but it does feel like our team is thoughtful and caring of each other. And it doesn't mean that tough decisions don't come and tough conversations don't come, but it just, it's nice to be part of this extended team. Carolyn, Chris, Doreen, that was awesome. I really appreciate it. As we roll out of this meeting, and because it's Teacher Appreciation Week, what I'd like to finish this week with is just a quick appreciative thought to either a specific teacher or a group of teachers or an issue that teachers are wrestling with. Some of you kind of touched on it already, but if you could get a little bit more specific, go for it. And listen, I think we talked about this a little bit. I'll start off that earlier about just, seniors, this is certainly an impact for them, and there's appreciation of them. For underclassmen, there's an appreciation of what they're losing. And for teachers, there's an appreciation of all the new things that they're trying to do. But for teachers who are kind of towards the end of their careers, this is just an extraordinarily challenging way to end your experience within a school district wherein your entire career has been dedicated to human connection, and now all of a sudden your last few months with the school district are in this way. And so we appreciate how challenging that might be, and just shout out to anybody that's listening that might be turning toward retirement. We are thinking about you, and we appreciate you a lot, and also appreciate just how hard you're working, because it's very clear to me, no matter where our teachers are in their careers, everybody's kind of pulling their weight right now. So very impressive. Dr. Probst, jump in.
Sure. So when we have a special week like Teacher Appreciation Week, I immediately think of all of the Hauppauge teachers, for me, past and present, right? I mean, as I said, I have 13 years of teachers who influenced me deeply personally. And then I have a whole district of teachers who I have appreciation for on a daily basis. I have to say, when it became more clear that school would have to be closed for a lengthy period of time, my first feeling was to be overwhelmed. Like, how are we going to make this happen? And that was quickly lifted by my interactions with all of our teachers, who, even in the face of tremendous uncertainty, conveyed that they would get it done, and they have. So to any teacher listening, thank you, truly, from the bottom of all of our students, because to me, there is nothing more important than school and what school means to a community and to students. And in the face of impossible circumstances, you have thought of tremendously creative ways to still make that happen. And I don't know that I could ever convey what that means to students, to their families, and to what that will mean for them going forward. So thank you.
I think you're muted, Chris, but I think you want me to go.
You're very good. I try to be really disciplined about the mute button, but apparently muted myself. Chris, Michael, go for it.
But the pantomiming worked well, so I sort of got what you were trying to say. Exactly. Shout out to, more specifically right now, to my reading teachers who have a passion for reading and books and literature. But I'm specifically talking about one group of people, my peeps, that I was a reading teacher myself also. But I think all the teachers that I supervise and I work with are reading teachers. They're trying to inspire kids to want to read and to learn. And reading is one way that they're able to do that. So shout out to all the reading teachers, the librarians, the art teachers, the music teachers, teaching kids to read music, teaching kids to read paper and art and express themselves. They're all reading teachers, helping kids to read the world. And I would also shout out to all of our staff. It is teacher appreciation, but staff appreciation also, to our secretaries, to our custodians, to all those people who work day in and day out. And they're teaching the kids each day, just like the teachers in the classroom, teaching them about compassion, teaching them about how to put, to work hard and make something look good, and to support a community of learners together. So a shout out to all of our staff, who are all teachers helping kids to grow each day.
Beautiful. Doreen, go for it.
I'd like to do a shout out to the teachers in my department of social studies and business and middle school CTE. The amount of work, the amount of effort, the amount of growing, and the can-do attitude that I've heard from everybody is inspiring. It really is. And I think that we're so lucky to have the people that we have. And like Chris, we are a community of learners, and for everybody that is doing everything they possibly can during this time period and before that, but especially now, that you're really appreciated, and students are lucky to have you in their lives, and just keep that in the back of your mind. And thank you for all that you do.
Yeah, beautiful. J-Dubs.
Yeah, I think Doreen probably said it just as well as I could. I just want to shout out every single teacher in Hauppauge right now. I don't know if I've ever seen a whole profession have to be tilted on its head the way that teaching has been over the last couple months. And with aside from like little things here and there, things have been handled so amazingly, and you've been able to basically change your jobs overnight and do it effectively. So kudos to all of you out there that have done that. I'm proud to say that I work in Hauppauge with all of you.
Joy.
So I will echo all of that, but I really want to give a special shout out to our teachers in the district, and especially in the high school, who are retiring this year. I'm sure this is not the way you imagined your last few months would be after a glorious career in Hauppauge. So we salute you and appreciate all that you have done, and certainly how you've reinvented yourself over these last few weeks and months as a distance teacher, a distance instructor. So congratulations on a wonderful career in Hauppauge, and we will miss you, and we wish you well in your retirement.
Beautiful. Christy, go for it.
I just want to give a shout out to all the teachers at the high school. It's really been incredible how everything has just been turned upside down, and you stood right back up, rolled up your sleeves, and stepped off the traditional teaching box and just went so much further, making sure not one student fell through the cracks. And if you couldn't get in touch with someone, or someone was having a difficult time, or didn't have a device, or just all things that don't fit the traditional role of the teacher, you're either doing it yourself or contacting someone to get the student support. So really everyone has just gone above and beyond to make sure our whole community is safe as can be. So shout out to you all.
Awesome. All right, guys, I think that does it for today. Really appreciate you all jumping on. This was wonderful. Maria, thanks for popping on. I really appreciate it. Peace out, everybody. Have a wonderful day. We will see you soon. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
good day.
Bye, everyone.
Be well, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.